Parenting is tough, whether you're a celebrity or not, and when it comes to their kids, parents David and Victoria Beckham are outnumbered. However, it seems like they're doing something right when it comes to the whole parenting thing. So we'll let you in on some of the strictest rules that the Beckham children are forced to follow. But first, make sure that you're subscribed for the latest videos from the taco. Let's get started. Brooklyn's dating. When their son Brooklyn was 16 years old, he began dating French actress Sonia Ben-Ammar, who was the same age. Now that their son was smitten, it was time to lay down some ground rules for his new relationship. Brooklyn had to ask official permission from Sonia's family before inviting her out on a date. Curfew was a strict midnight on date night, and he was expected to have his phone on him. We're guessing that he's learned how to court the proper way thanks to these strict rules. Social media. The Beckhams may be okay with their children dating, but there is one thing that they're extremely concerned about. David Beckham has admitted that he fears the ramifications of his children joining social media and isn't even a big social media fan when it comes to his own life. When his kids were young, he forced them to keep their social media accounts private. It's scary trying to keep your kids safe online, and many parents will understand this common parenting woe when it comes to kids and social media. Sports. David Beckham is a world-renowned football player, but his children probably won't be following in his footsteps. Although David has admitted that he was disappointed when his kids weren't interested in taking the sport seriously, instead the kids are instructed to follow their own passions and not in their parents' footsteps. David claims that he wants his children to be passionate about things in life, whether that's sports or something else entirely. Despite making his fame and fortune through football, David claims it's always been his hobby first and foremost, and he wouldn't do it if he wasn't passionate about it. The one rule. Sometimes kids struggle to follow even the simplest of rules, and it seems like there is always one rule that is the most challenging. According to Brooklyn Beckham, they just can't stop kicking around the old football in the house. This drives Victoria Beckham crazy, and she orders them to take it outside. But it seems like even if they don't plan on going pro, the Beckham kids just can't resist kicking the ball around exactly where their mother enjoys it the least. Time management. Even celebrities get that familiar feeling that there aren't enough hours in the day to get everything done. Victoria Beckham deals with this by keeping herself on a strict schedule and insisting that her children do the same. She wakes up promptly at 6 a.m., hits the gym, and then it's time for family breakfast and getting out the door to school. Victoria believes that discipline and meticulous organization are necessary attributes for a happy and successful life. And of course, she insists that her children adhere to her strict time schedule as well. However, there is one scheduled event that the children absolutely aren't allowed to encroach on. Gym time. According to Victoria Beckham, she tries to fit in at least 2 workouts per day. Not only is this a great way to keep in shape, she claims that it's the only quiet time she gets to herself in her busy household. If she tries to relax in the kitchen, her kids have full access to her, so she gets her me time in her home gym instead. The kids know that they aren't allowed to bother mom while she's working out unless it's a big emergency. And for anyone who isn't one of her children, they had better not disturb her while she's at the gym, no matter the circumstance. Buddy system. Victoria Beckham has accomplished many things in her life, but she readily admits that there is one area she hasn't succeeded in: a social life. Early on in their marriage, Victoria and David agreed on a core tenet of parenting, which makes sure that there is at least one parent with the children at all times. So you won't see Victoria and David traveling together unless the whole family is coming along for the ride. According to Victoria, this has resulted in the family being incredibly close to one another. Advocacy. Considering the fact that the Beckham family is close, both physically and emotionally, it seems like their kids have a lot of support. While their family can be an excellent source of moral support, Victoria and David believe that they need to learn how to advocate for themselves. Victoria claims that it feels good to get a compliment from a sibling or parent, but she wants her children to feel empowered. That way, they can draw their self-esteem from themselves instead of relying on outside validation, which can be dangerous. Having a family that is unconditionally supportive is a great thing, but the Beckham kids are also taught to rely on themselves at the end of the day. Manners. Just like the Beckham kids are expected to treat each other and themselves with respect, their parents expect them to act the same way towards everyone. Ever since they were small, they've been raised to always say please and thank you, and generally be exceptionally well-mannered. Both David and Victoria claim that they were forced to follow strict rules regarding manners when they were children, and expect the same from their own kids. By the time the kids were 2 or 3 years old, they were already expected to be well-mannered. Privilege. There is no denying that David and Victoria Beckham are a wealthy couple, or that their children live privileged lives, but they make it very clear to their kids that they have it better than many others in the world. Their kids aren't exempt from having jobs to earn their own way either. When he was a kid, Brooklyn Beckham was encouraged by his parents to get a job at a local coffee shop. This helped him to earn some extra spending money and learn the values of putting in hard work for a paycheck. These parents definitely don't want to raise spoiled children despite their massive amount of wealth. Harper's dating. Although she's way too young to be dating anytime soon, Harper Beckham's parents are already thinking about what it will be like when their daughter begins to date. We know that her brother Brooklyn had some pretty specific yet reasonable rules that he had to follow. But according to David Beckham, his little girl will have an entirely different set of rules because of her gender. That's not very progressive, and hopefully David and Victoria realize that long before Harper comes with her first crush. David Beckham talks as if her dates will be subject to intense scrutiny. School. With such strict parents at home, you might think that the Beckham kids could at least let loose a little bit at school, but it turns out that David and Victoria Beckham want to make sure that their kids' behavior at school is immaculate as well. David admits that when he and his wife attend parent-teacher conferences, manners are always the very first topic of discussion. They want to make sure that the kids are conducting themselves properly and representing their family well. One of the guys. Perhaps it's not surprising that growing up with three brothers means that little Harper is a rough and tumble girl. Her mother, Victoria Beckham, loves fashion to no end. In fact, when she was a member of the band the Spice Girls, she was known as Posh Spice. But it seems that Harper's interest in fashion and makeup take a backseat to her love of sports. She's even said that she might like to play football someday, which hurts Victoria's heart and no doubt warmed David's. She's free to pursue her passions, but since she only has one daughter, Victoria insists that Harper at least learn to walk in heels. Sheltered. As a part of keeping their kids well-rounded and humble, Victoria and David Beckham kept certain things from them until they were a bit older, like the small fact that they're incredibly famous. Their oldest son, Brooklyn, claims that he had no idea his father was a famous football player until he was 13 years old. While attending a game, he heard the crowd cheer his dad's name, and suddenly a lot of his life made sense at the moment. Although he had attended games previously, he said that it never clicked until that moment because to him, his parents were just normal people and not international celebrities. Weekends. You'd think that after a heavily structured schedule during the week, the Beckham kids could look forward to having weekends off. According to Victoria, her kids would like nothing more than to goof off on the weekends, but she and David have declared this valuable family time. They try to schedule outings to museums and other places that the kids are required to attend as a family. Although they try to keep their kids focused and cultured, Victoria admits that sometimes their attention spans waver and they have trouble keeping their minds on their family activities. Careers. In addition to having part-time jobs as kids, the Beckham children are expected to have their own adult careers. Brooklyn Beckham does love football, but says that he wants to keep his option for the future. He's also interested in fashion and photography, and has even appeared on the cover of Vogue magazine. Meanwhile, Cruz Beckham has already released his first single, If Every Day Was Christmas, at the age of 11. Some outlets like Good Morning America criticize the Beckhams, claiming that their kids are growing up too fast. Apparently, they don't understand the particular brand of parenting. Work ethic. In addition to working, the Beckham kids are expected to work hard. Victoria and David believe that the best way to ensure that their kids grow up with a strong work ethic is to model such behavior. David Beckham has claimed that his kids are his primary motivation in life, and they inspire him to do his very best. He wants to prove to his kids that if they work hard, they too can be successful in life no matter what career paths they happen to choose. These kids have learned the value of $1, and it seems like they're learning just how hard it can be to earn one. Charity work. The Beckhams feel that one important part of acknowledging their privilege is teaching their kids to help each other. Even though their parents have raised them to be humble and grateful, there's no denying that they have a wealthy and powerful family. The Beckhams want their kids to understand the importance of giving back to others and have involved them in their charitable endeavors. Romeo Beckham even ran in a children's marathon in order to raise money, which he then divided between his father's charity and UNAIDS. It's never too early to teach your kids to be generous, and it seems like the Beckham kids are learning this lesson quite well already. Positivity. No matter how difficult life can get at times, Victoria and David want their children to always have a positive outlook. No negativity is allowed in their household, at least in front of the kids. Like all couples, Victoria and David fight from time to time, but they're careful never to do so in front of their kids. They believe in maintaining a positive environment and presenting a united front, and feel that letting the kids see them argue would be contrary to that. But hopefully, the kids still know it's okay for people to argue from time to time, as long as they resolve their conflicts respectfully and productively. 4 is enough. Many celebrities have to deal with constant rumors about supposed pregnancies, and Victoria Beckham is no exception. It seems like the press is always declaring that she's finally going to have a 5th child, but the Beckhams claim that this is definitely not the case. Victoria has said in the past that she wasn't ruling out more kids, but recently she's been clear that her existing children will need to be satisfied with the siblings that they have. According to Victoria, she's totally finished having kids, and she's tired of people accusing her of either being pregnant or on the verge of getting a divorce from her husband. What do you think of the strict rules that the Beckham children have to follow? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Bye for now.